Hey guys, it's Sam, and this tutorial is about figure drawing. Now you've probably heard me say this advice more than once about how important figure drawing is and learning how to draw people and stuff like that, but I've never actually told you where or how to start if you have never done this before or just know nothing about what figure drawing is. So what exactly is figure drawing? Figure drawing is pretty much studying the human figure. Now, it's typically applied to humans when you say figure drawing, but that doesn't mean you can't do figure drawings of animals as well. It's a technique used in arts to increase one's understanding of human anatomy, gesture, form, and pretty much everything in relation to human bodies. Now, when you're doing figure studies, it doesn't have to be a completed drawing. In fact, most of the time, these are things that you'll find in professional artist sketchbooks. So there's no pressure to be showing anybody these drawings. These drawings are specifically for improving your skills in drawing humans. They can be as simple as 30-second sketches as far as like 2-hour paintings. How do you know if you need to practice figure drawing and when should you start? First of all, you should always be practicing figure drawing, and if you haven't been, then you should start right now. In a general sense, you'll want to practice figure drawing when you notice that your figures are appearing stiff or awkward, things are looking wrong. Perhaps you want to make more dynamic poses and make things more interesting, and if you want to get better at drawing humans faster. What tools should you use? Well, first of all, as long as you're actually physically creating artwork, the tools you use don't matter. It can be digital, you can use Photoshop, GIMP, paints, traditional, you can use pencil, pen, crayon, markers, paints, whatever you want. What tool you want to use might also depend on what the study is that you're doing. If you're doing quick studies and not something that's more fully rendered, then you might want to consider doing something like pencil or pen. If you want to do more detailed or longer pieces, you might want to consider charcoal or oil paints. The best way to figure out what tools to use for what kind of study you want to do is to experiment. Try using different tools for different studies and see what you can get. Where can you get references? The dealio with figure drawing is that you need actual humans to reference from. Learning from other people's drawings, cartoons, animation, even if it looks really accurate, it's not going to be the same. Your safest bets into learning humans in the most accurate and quickest way possible is to use actual people. Now, there are two different ways that you can get references. There are places that you can go that offer figure drawing sessions where you go to a classroom or a building where you pretty much have a model in the center and then all of the artists kind of circling around it or semicircle, it all depends on where you go. This is a live figure drawing session and you'll actually be drawing the person, the model, in front of you. Just be warned that sometimes the models can be nude and it may cost a fee to participate. The easiest way to find places around you that are offering these things would probably be to Google search it or to talk to nearby colleges or universities. If you don't have money and you don't want to awkwardly stare at a naked person in front of you, fear not, there are other options. Yourself! Find a mirror, bring your sketchbook, and just have at it. Get into a pose, draw yourself, it's free, and you're pretty much always available when you need yourself. You can grab a friend, a family member, a relationship partner, have them pose for you. Maybe you can draw each other and have some sort of pose exchange. And my personal favorite, people watching. Not only is it free, but it is really fun if you've never tried it before. Find a comfy spot, bring a snack in your sketchbook, and stealthily draw people. The bonus with this one is that people don't stand still. They're going to be moving, so you have to work quick. Don't want to interact with other people? Don't want to go outside into the sun? Understandable. Here are some options for you. Keep in mind though, it is a bajillion times more beneficial to use actual physical in real life person references, as it best shows you the form and gives you the most accurate feel. Trust me, big difference. There are quite a few websites where you can find photos of models and stock providers who offer the resources for free. There are, of course, websites that offer high quality, high resolution stock photos for a fee. It's up to you, of course, of which route you want to go. Keep in mind that for the best quality references, the less clothes the model is wearing, the better. Clothing obscures the forms, the muscles, the anatomy, the gesture, all of the shapes, the values, and everything that you need to see in order to understand the human figure. Also, when you're looking for photos, you want to make sure that the figure is clear, crisp, has nice lighting, and is just in general easy to make out. You don't want to use a photo of somebody who's been obscured by objects in front of them, or just maybe it's busy. Make sure the entirety of the person is in frame. Regardless of where you get your references, it is absolutely a necessity to respect the models and the photographer. What is this timing stuff, and how long should you start with? In drawing figures, it's standard that poses are timed. Different time limits force you to think about different aspects of the figure. It allows you to figure out what's important and what needs to be drawn versus details that could be otherwise pushed for longer time limits. For example, I noticed with myself that if I give myself too much time, I'll end up focusing too much on the details rather than getting down the basic figure. I end up ignoring the shapes and forms, the real basic bare minimum stuff that you need for a figure. I also end up making too many lines as I try and overcorrect those mistakes that I see. It's busy, it looks messy, and it wastes time. You want to use as few strokes as possible and make each line that you put down necessary and important. My suggestion? Start with 5 seconds. That might not seem like a lot of time, but trust me, it is. With 5 seconds, that's enough time to figure out the main gesture line. Gesture is pretty much the action in the pose. With each time limit, you can add more things. So with 5 seconds, you get the one line of action and gesture. With 30 seconds, you're building a bit more on top of that by adding some shapes, kind of building up on the form. But accuracy isn't important. You're trying to capture the movement of the pose. Maybe for a pose that's 2 minutes long, you'll want to focus a little bit more on details and accuracy. Definitely don't think the learning ends here. Before you check out other tutorials on how to go about figure drawing, I definitely super recommend doing it yourself first. Just jump right in and try it out. If you don't have much time to spare, just a few minutes a day makes a huge difference. It's important to figure out how things work for you, your tools, general ideas, and build up questions. Everyone has their own technique and style in doing figure drawings. You don't want to focus too much on matching those styles or following those tutorials. That can distract you in the learning process and delay improvement. So definitely spend at the very least a few hours, if not a few weeks, on just trying it yourself. And then go look at some tutorials. I recommend just trying out one tutorial video, testing out that technique, seeing how that goes, building up more questions, and then jumping to another tutorial. Don't be afraid of playing around or making the drawing look bad on purpose. Have the mindset that nobody's gonna see these, and if you never want to see these again, you can always recycle the paper. I include lots of links in the description to tutorial videos, websites for pose references. Some of them actually have timers built in on the website, very useful, and just have at it. I really hope this helps you understand more about figure drawing and gave you the push you need to start drawing figures. If you'd like to see additional footage of me doing figure studies in real time, check out my Patreon page linked in the description down below, as it will be part of the September Patreon only video. What are you waiting for? Start drawing! Thanks for watching! Bye! If you're doing quick sketches and you're not trying to go more rendered, and there's an airplane. Ugh. Now I lost my place!